Fight Live returns to Channel 5 this Friday. Two of Britain's most exciting super lightweights collide at London's legendary York Hall. Don't miss Eubank vs Farrell this Friday on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is COLM for AFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by Jamie Conlan. Jamie, you've got a smirk on your face. How's things, mate? All good?
All good, mate. You're the only person I know who has to give himself two intros.
Two intros, mate.
Yeah, that shows how big you are these days, Mr. Worldwide.
So how's things? Well, how's this card been coming along for December 10th?
Oh, good. Tell me, is that a DAZN hat in the background?
Oh,
goodness!
Oh, I left that out there, mate.
Oh,
No,
Eddie Hearn, look at me. Eddie Hearn, look at
Eddie
me.
Hearn, exactly.
Right.
So, look, a Christmas cracker, December 10th. Talk to me about this card.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Ronseal. It's exactly what it says on the tin. Christmas cracker. Very, very excited. There's a few fights brewing on the undercard that we've matched this week that I'm very excited to see. Prospects getting out in real tests, step-ups in their career. Paddy Donovan against Winston Campos, just we done yesterday. Winston went the distance with Josh Kelly. He's fought Josh Taylor. You know, very, very seasoned operator. And Paddy's still in the progression stage, so it's a good run out for him and a good barometer to where he's at. Hard to stop, very, very, very durable. A veteran of the game and seasoned the way around the ring. But yeah, that's lower down. So that was why it was on my mind right now to say it. But Tyrone McKenna, Liam Taylor, I think you've already spoke to them, both promising exactly what we all want in a blood and guts battle. Both I spoke with Liam's coach during the week, Steve Maylett, and he's at the same, of myself, that you can tell Liam all they want, but he's going to get in there and just have a tear up. And I think both of them accepted that challenge thrown down. And I think Sean McComb, if we can pull this title fight off against a 22-0 unbeaten French guy, I think it's a massive fight, massive test for Sean. We've one or two different backups there with tough Africans that kind of will give Sean tests and really push him up to where he was against Gavin Gwynn, and make sure that this Sean McComb 2.0 is what we all believe it is, and he is a better fighter because of that fight. So yeah, we're still finalising a few things, but yeah, I've been watching Cream Gurphy training in his training camp. He looks fantastic, Nick. He looks like he's really taking this seriously and really coming to win, and has the last wee bit of hunger that is needed at his age to kind of kick on for a world title fight. And I went over and watched Michael Spar. Looks unbelievable. Top class French kid he was in with, and was really, really good. And a young prospect that I really think is a cracker in Wales called Rhys Evans, and we brought him down. Rhys Edwards, sorry. We brought him down and gave him great rounds as well. So everything's shaping up perfectly.
Talk to me about Gurphy, because people who maybe don't know the situation, Lee Wood evidently didn't want the rematch. You went for Jordan Gill. They made Jordan Gill and Kiko. Was there anyone else on the radar for this fight for Michael, or was it really Gurphy's in a fight of the year fight, Michael's in a fight of the year fight, let's make them go together? No,
Kiko was in. We also would like to do about it on Kiko. I don't think I respect much more fighters as much as I respect Kiko. I think he's what every young pro should, kind of base himself off, and hard to reinvent your career so many times, and that a loss is not the end of the world. And even for Michael's sake, when you lose, when you're a young phenom, is what Kiko was, and you lose, there always is a way back and bring yourself back, and that's by dedicating yourself to the sport. But Kiko and Jordan Gill were our first kind of options of what we wanted to do, and that was kind of that. We also looked at Isaac Dogbe. That didn't work with top ranked states, and if we were able to get a proper big slot, we would have been able to do Mick and Dogbe before the end of the year. But again, it was kind of not last of our picks. Garfield was also in the mix. I'd also like to look at Garfield simply because both lads have came back from Fight of the Years, both were in Fight of the Years, both provide entertainment and excitement. And I think style ways, Garfield was handling a similar style to Mick, which is Jordan Gill in terms of boxing and moving and good footwork and speed, handling very, very well until he got knocked out. So I'm intrigued to see how Michael adapts and adjusts and handles Garfield.
We'll stick with the main event for a second. You know, where does this catapult Michael to next? And obviously, you path out his career. Do you want to see him in a world title fight next? Could it be Isaac Dogbo, for example?
The aim is a world title fight next, whether it be the IBF, whether it be WBO, whether it be the WBA. That's kind of what we've been speaking with Top Rank, and they're kind of the same mindset as ourselves, that the world title fight next should be the plan. But we are open to all options. He had to rebuild after the loss, as you do. You can't really, it was a fantastic fight, and we thought that would have forced a rematch, but you can't begrudge Lee Wood and his team by going a different route and wanting to try and unify titles or fight Leo Santa Cruz. So we had to kind of take our own path and forge our own path to get back to the title. So March or August, but I would prefer March. The reason why we're fighting in December and keeping active is to be ready for March.
Okay, and obviously as well, the Conlan boxing stable, you've got another IBO world champion in terms of Padraig McCrory. Padraig, I spoke to Calla this week, and he said he likes the Lyndon Arthur fight for Padraig next. Mm-hmm. What do you see? Because this fight here, I take it Padraig's going to be in it against someone that's well ranked in this fight, and who is he fighting, and who's he going to fight next time?
He's mostly going to be fighting an undefeated fighter, but it's more again same position as Michael. We're biding time. He was fresh. He wanted to get out again. He wanted to keep active. And at this stage of his career, activity is key. So getting Paddy a fight just to be back in Belfast was another thing, but setting him up for a massive fight in March. We've been speaking with Nissa back and forth about Belfast, going through what the potential of doing a show in Belfast early next year is with Wasserman and in the SSE. So that's the plan. Keep this fight. Again, Paddy just needs to keep continuing progressing. He's still learning, if it sounds insane, but he took so much time out of the ring. He's still progressing and still learning. And this fight will be just kind of keeping him nice and ready for March, because Lyndon Arthur is an easy fight to make within the Wasserman stable. There's other big fights out there. I think Rocky Phelan beats Dan Aziz. That would be another cracking fight, and which is a fan-friendly fight, and I just think it's a 3, 4, 5 round war. But yeah, Lyndon Arthur is a massive step for Paddy and a massive fight for the stable.
We've spoke about Sean, we've spoke about Tyrone and Liam Taylor, and I mean that doesn't need to give any more from you on that, because you know how much of a fight that's going to be. What does Liam Taylor bring to the table against Tyrone McKenna in Belfast?
I think he brings another never say die attitude. I was there in the venue against when he fought Darren Tetley, and I was taken aback by how much both lads put on the line and how well it was received. Like, it was during lockdown. You could feel and hear the impact of every punch and the body shots that was getting in. Liam was landing, and it was very, very. The thing with Liam, he looks like a carbon copy of Tyrone, but only in orthodox. They both can box. They both can get on the outside. They've got long enough arms to stick and move, but they end up getting drawn in, and they leave openings when they're inside. There's openings to the body and to the head. They're prone to getting hurt. Both show a lot of vulnerabilities on the inside, especially. But it's hard to come back from being hurt. When they're hurt and wounded, that's when they're at their most dangerous, and that's why I think the fight has all the ingredients as a potential fight of the year.
Moving on to the prospects at Conlan boxing. First of all, will we see Lewis Crocker on this card?
We'll announce tonight. Well, last night, if we're doing this tomorrow. Lewis Crocker, Paul Ryan, and Connor Quinn will be on the card. Croc finally getting out. Small wee injury in August. Adam Booth has labelled him as a cross between David Haye and Burnett in terms of punch power, speed, mentality, and his willingness to learn. So it's something I'm excited to see, the collaboration of Booth and Crocker, and see how it comes across. We've got a match at the minute. We won't be announcing the match till probably the end of the week, but yeah, we've got a match in the good test, 6 rounds. He's only getting back out, and then the plan is to keep him active. January is the next target, February or March after that. So a 6 and a 6, and then we're back into 10-round fights.
Kieran Malloy, dominating performance in Germany. Will we see step ups here on out for Kieran Malloy throughout his career?
That's the plan. That's the plan. I think he fought out of his weight and out of his comfort zone in Germany. The guy came in a lot heavier. We had to push the weight up on the day, something he wasn't that comfortable with. And again, you kind of watch these things from afar and you see how mentality is to these small dilemmas. And he just took it in a stride, no problem whatsoever. Very, very strong Georgian. And I was worried on it. I wasn't worried on that the fight exactly. I knew he had too much in the tank for this kind of caliber of opponent, but I was worried that he was so strong, so aggressive, that the weight could play a potential factor, and it didn't. I thought he looked, it just constantly looks better and better. I thought he was a superstar in Belfast, and I do believe that this is someone that TG4 in Ireland can really build behind. Being from Galway, being from where TG4 is, it's definitely a star.
Kurt, against a really tricky opponent in Frankfurt, he came out on top. He looked good doing it. What's next for Kurt Walker?
Again, it's just another stage. We figured out with Kurt is he's a high-level amateur. Thing with Kurt is if you're fighting the best in the world, he'll be ready for the best in the world. But if you match him a bit weaker, he kind of lets his guard down and gets a bit complacent. So fighting that balance as we did in Belfast, so he matched him against an 18-3 Argentinian who really came to win and had been fighting a title contention. So I thought that brought the best of him. And then a tricky Colombian in Frankfurt, and seeing a different side to him. It was his first fight with H, Hussein Iqbal, in proper camp together, and I really, really liked what I seen. So again, another step in the right direction for Kurt. I think this will be his last 6. We'll move the 8-rounders starting next year.
Big promotion yesterday, I think he announced it, that there was a promotion being put on by Ticketmaster and the SSE Arena. Talk to me a bit about that. I'm aware if there's fans listening to this that want to get tickets, what's on offer?
Yeah, Black Friday sales seem to be all the new rage, sorry, and the SSE are doing a bit on the Belfast Giants and a few other of their shows, and they'd said this is the way things are moving, and asked us would be interested in doing a Black Friday sale. So yes, we're doing on selective tickets. The more high end, the £100, £150 tickets will be 50% off on them for the weekend. It's a Black Friday sale, so it's Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Will be 50% off on the 2 brackets of £100 and £150 tickets, which I think is insane and phenomenal. And I believe they will go very, very quickly, especially the £150 tickets, because there wasn't much of them left. So it's it's something new. We're trying it out. We're giving it a run. We've never done it before, but yeah, it's in this cost of living crisis, I think it works out well for the punter, for the paying public. It's really getting discounted prices at high end seats. So yeah, very, very good.
Broadcast for this fight. Talk to me about that in the UK and worldwide. Where can you watch this fight if you're not lucky enough to be there?
We will confirm that this week, hopefully, and be doing an announcement this week. But yeah, we've got various different broadcast deals around the world. ESPN being our main broadcasting partner in the States, but we've done a good few international rights sales. So yeah, we'll confirm that this week.
From listening to what you've had to say here, I can't wait for a Christmas night under the lights in the SSE in Belfast. So if you haven't got your tickets, there's very limited numbers after this week, obviously, with the sale. So get them now. We'll move on for a second. I want to get your opinion on a few other fights happening. Josh Warrington on the same night is in a very tough fight. What do you make of that?
I think it's a very intriguing fight. Lopez, he's not got the fundamentals that you're expecting for a world champion or someone at world level. He's unorthodox. He throws from very, very unorthodox angles, but he also hits like a train. Warrington would have to be high tempo. I seen in the fight with Isaac Dogby, or sorry, not Isaac Dogby, what do you call him? With Isaac Lowe, that even though Isaac got dropped in the first round, he was having a lot of success by again high tempo in and out. It looked like Lopez was biding his time. He was giving him a bit of space, but he throws a very, very unorthodox angles. And what we've seen against Laura is that the unorthodox punches seem to catch Josh unawares, and it was the first time obviously he's ever been hurt and knocked out. So it's a very intriguing fight. I think Warrington wins. I think he may have a bit too much over the 12 rounds, but I do think there is a potential upset and Lopez getting the KO here. His power can get him through. But I think he loses rounds, but he'll be banking on his power.
Santa Cruz, Lee Wood. Do you think it happens?
I don't know.
If we're talking about Lara in that situation, where does that leave him then?
Kiko Martinez.
You think that fight could be next Kiko and Lara?
It'd be a shame for Kiko, but potentially. Yeah.
Katie Taylor, Croke Park, it's been the most spoke about Irish fight probably ever. Do you think that happens, and would you like to see maybe Michael on that undercard?
I think if Katie's not in Croke Park, it's doing her a terrible disservice. I think she has carried amateur boxing and now professional boxing in the South a lot on her shoulders, carried a lot of pressure on her shoulders, especially from the times that they were going to the World Championships in Chicago onwards, right up to 2012 in London. Amateur boxing in the Olympics was because of her having a fight of this magnitude in an iconic setting as Croke Park would be. I think even Katie in Dublin would be a travesty if it doesn't happen, even the Three Arena. But for something like that in Croke Park, there is only one person I think who can do it, and that is Katie. It would be fantastic for Irish boxing. It would be good to see every Irish boxer on the card. You would love to see some great all Irish fights, and I see everyone throwing their hats into the ring, and rightfully so, because these opportunities and these nights don't come around often, especially in Ireland. Even in the UK, Wembley Stadium, you don't get fights in Wembley every other week. They're few and far between. But for us, for Irish boxing fans, at the opportunity and the event of that size, I would even dust off the retirement myself to try and get a go. Actually, I wouldn't. Fuck that.
Jamie Conlan's coming back. That's the title.
That's the wrong one.
That's it. Would you like to see Mick and Wood on that undercard?
Yep, makes sense. Makes sense from a promotional point of view. It would be class. It wouldn't make sense from a promotional point of view because he is a matchroom fighter, and why would you bring him to Ireland instead of doing it in Nottingham if you have an opportunity to do it outdoor in Nottingham? So, but in terms of the promotion of the event, it would make sense. Yeah, of course. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no to that.
Final question before I let you go. Because you're a promoter manager, I have to ask you this. What do you make of the YouTube boxing scene? And do you think that's something that you can watch and enjoy, or is it something that you kind of turn your nose up to? And be honest with me.
I enjoy the build-up. To be honest, I like Jake Paul. In our group chat, they're all ripping him to pieces, but I actually like him. He's growing on me. I like how he carries himself. He makes controversy and creates hate. And I think fighters can potentially learn off that to build their own profiles. In terms of the boxing, I've never watched a single round. I just it wouldn't.
And you wouldn't?
Not that, just never have. Just I have zero interest in the actual fight. I have became interested in the fighters, but I'll check to see who wins after and look at the result and see like that and listen to their interviews. And if someone is chasing Dylan Dennis around a car park, getting a clip on the chin and sends me the video to watch it, I'll watch it. But yeah, that is you. Yeah, I watched the fights. No, it doesn't. They done that one in Dubai, or I think it was Dubai or Abu Dhabi the other week, and I never watched it. I didn't know who won any of the fights. I just watched then the run on to the next show, which you were doing, and covering, and all that kind of thing was very, was good. It was funny. It was different. It was fake, most of it, except for the your mom punching him in the car park. The guys I don't know a lot of them. I'm not young enough to know a lot of them. I know Dennis because he used to hang around with Conor McGregor. I've never seen him fight in his life, but he's again made a name himself in the fighting world. So yeah, it's interesting. But doesn't. I don't think I could sit there. Could you sit there? How did you find sitting watching it, or do you have to give an independent point of view here?
No, to be honest, at the beginning, I never really rated it. Wasn't something I would have watched. Obviously, I had to cover that event and enjoyed it. It was different. They're all personalities in their own right. I mean, there's not many of them claim to be boxers. So actually, in the interviews when I spoke to them, they all said, like, we're not boxers. We're just here from an entertainment perspective, and I think that's fair enough. But again, at the same time, I seen a video that Josh Taylor shared of one of them in the ring, and actually at the time I didn't even see how bad it looked, and it did look shocking. So
shocking. See, I've seen all them clips, and listen, they're not boxers. I would never put them in the same bracket as a boxer, and that's kind of where I place it in my head, and that's why I can enjoy it. But I don't watch it, but enjoy the build up, enjoy the circus around it. Boxers getting involved in it is where I draw the line. Like, if Tommy Fury is a boxer, why is he calling out someone who's not a boxer? If I see these other kids calling out John Hedges, calling them out, and you're going like, if you have to have a different stance on it. They're not boxers, but they create fun hype, and boxers can learn of it. They really can. It would kill me to do anything like that. Just all sounds too fake.
Too manic for common boxing. Well, Jamie, thank you very much for your time. We'll catch up again on Fight Week, and I appreciate it.
Cheers, Colm. Good to see you, man. Hurry home.
Fight Live returns to Channel 5 this Friday. Two of Britain's most exciting super lightweights collide at London's legendary York Hall. Don't miss Eubank versus Farrell this Friday on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.